Well, well, well. Would you look who came crawling back for another cup of tea? It's me, silly. I came crawling back for another cup of tea. There's no one else here to come crawling back for another cup of tea, and I don't know why I have to keep explaining that to you. The tea I'm coming back for today is this. Wei Shan Classic Rou Gui Wuyi Oolong tea from China. Better get a cup ready before I start rambling on about minimum gauge railways again. You know, on second thought, knowing my proclivities, propensities, and predispositions for perpetual prattling, better make it a couple cups. Make sure my mouth is so overwhelmed with such an array of lovely flavors from our dear Camellia sinensis plant that any audio forthcoming from that rather unfortunate hole located above my chin has more in common with a drowning than a lecture. Okay? Okay. You know, I'm very nearly certain I saw a wild gong fu set somewhere around here. Can't find anything in this city anymore. Oh, there we are. I'd say it's around about approximately the time at which we attempt to remediate my unending series of verbal miscarriages with a bit of tea. Wonder how you all got here. Strange. You know, rather than heating up our brains thinking of nonsense ideas that go nowhere, much in the manner of an Ernest Cline novel, let's heat up our Gaiwan instead. Gee, you look thirsty. Time to grow up big and strong, my dear. Most minimum gauge railways are for tourist trains or state railways. They're in theme parks, museums, or New Zealand. You know, the Coronado Railroad, which was me. Alright, I'm gonna fill the Gaiwan maybe a third of the way here. I'm gonna keep you for later purposes. Very important later purposes. That's a setup. Since these aren't hand-rolled leaves, they're just twisted, some of them. You could fill the Gaiwan a lot more than this, actually. Give it a rinse here. A fair amount of sediment there. That is already a very dark color. It smells roasted. Roasty notes. A little bit of cocoa in there. Some liquid still in there. There we go. Make a little bit of a blend. Stone fruit, apricots, cherries, plums, that sort of thing. A little bit like, unreliable GPS coordinates, perhaps? Yeah, a little bit like that. Minerals. Very minerally smell I'm getting here in my nose. Or this here sniff of the leaf by my powerful, hefty, truly leviathanic nostrils. There you go. So recently when I've been brewing teas, I've been trying to be a lot... Oh my god. Amazing. I've been trying to be a lot looser with how long I'm brewing them for. This one, maybe 20 seconds or so on the first steep. Once I get a steep I like, I try to judge it based off of color. I aim for a brew that looks similar to the first one. And since my timing device is currently being used to record audio, it's entirely possible that this will be either very over or under steeped. But this is a tea you could be very loose with. I have not had any problems with just kind of going with the flow on it. Ow! Usually add 5 to 10 seconds, give or take, for each steep. Depends on the color, depends how it tastes. If it doesn't taste like it has enough tea flavor and it tastes under steeped, you go longer. If it tastes bitter and unpleasant, you know, like someone in your life, I could fill that blank in for you, but I think you can do it yourself. You seem capable. If it tastes like that person, then go a little shorter. Alright. Go a little longer on that first steep. I think the water cooled down a little bit on the way here. I can't get any of the outlets up here to work, so it's tough. You know, I'm just stuck with whatever this guy can hold on to. Currently doesn't seem like a lot. You shouldn't be very proud of yourself. This first steep, it's getting that roasted flavor, getting pretty light texture, actually. Not a sediment in there, that's surprising. More of that stone fruit thing. Cherries and plums, apricots, etc. Those and roast flavors for me tend to go together pretty, well, most of the time. They hang out, they hold hands. They talk about their feelings. They open up to each other. You know. You do that thing, right? I mean, we do that thing. Right? Yeah. So, Wuyi tea. We're not going to have another bit of physical comedy here. Grown in the Wuyi Mountain in China, Fujian province. Like Big Red Robe, Golden Water Turtle, a couple other famous ones. It's known as a yancha, which is a rock tea. It's not a command, it's a description of flavor. It tastes like rocks. In a good way. Right, that's not an insult to the tea. It's minerally. Now, as for the specific kind of rock, that's undetermined, unfortunately, which is a real weak spot here. What do we say? I think we can go with that. Because I'm willing to bet that granite or basalt or soapstone, they probably all taste different. Those rocks don't taste the same. I'm just saying, we can go with a little more. Oh, we got a bug in here. We got bug tea now. We can go with a little more, clarity. And a more precision of language. You know, so after this I'm thinking about just going out there and licking as many of these rocks as possible and doing a real mouth-forward geological survey of the area so I can know for certain that this isn't just rock tea, it's, I don't know, basalt tea, slate tea. That's lovely. Look at that color. The sun coming out. And that bug in there, I think. No, I drank that. So what I'm saying is, to really have a good precision of language, we all gotta get out there and start tonguing some stone. Because like I said, I'm willing to bet, I'm willing to bet all the money here in my pockets that those stones do not taste the same. Oh, hey. That's a pretty good roll. Are you here, I suppose? Got this from Yunnan sourcing. Say spring 2023, that's when it was harvested. Wow, that color comes in quick. Oh no. That's a bit of garlic skin. You should always carry garlic in your pockets. It's important. So it's had time to age. It's over a year to age. That's important with these roasted teas. For the first couple months, they'd be all roast, all day. None of the other subtlety of flavors in there. It's fine. It's okay. They don't taste bad, but they're really lacking a depth or complexity to them. It's just, unfortunately, an unnervingly familiar description. So usually I'd be brewing this pretty close to boiling. That's what I like to do with most roasted teas. Yeah, it looks nice. Good color on that. Roast usually needs some heat to get going. Got some more liquid in there, probably. More of that rock smell is coming out. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you what type of rock it is due to my geological inexperiences in the matter. Look at them. They're beautiful. It's kind of like, I don't know, slightly ground up brain or something. It's been rotted. It's magnificent. Does this mean the liquid in this cup is a blend of Rou Gui and Crowleyian tea? Is this Crowleyian tea that I've made here? Oh yeah. Really squeeze it out of there. I mean, I'm sure it's magnificent in only the ways a mass-produced, super-absorbent polymer in the shape of a pterodactyl? Pterosaur? Can be? You're great. Presumably since you're made after a flying dinosaur, you should be able to fly, right? No. I guess not. This all puts me in mind of a joke I heard once. Woman goes to a travel agent, tells her, I've always wanted to go to Boise, Idaho. I've never been to Boise, Idaho. More than anything else in my life, I've always wanted to go to Boise, Idaho. And the travel agent, sitting at their desk, looks at her and says, Ma'am, you're in Boise, Idaho. This is Boise, Idaho. You're seeing Boise, Idaho. So the woman tells her, Okay, well, how much for a bus ticket back to my apartment, then? I noticed we were so busy just chatting about minimum gauge railways together that we missed out an entire part of the name of this tea. Right in this cup. This very cup. Rou Gui. It translated literally, it means cassia. Cinnamon. It's supposed to taste, if not similar, maybe parallel to cinnamon. Spiciness, the warming flavor, that sort of thing. I don't get that exactly. Maybe a hint of the spiciness, but, flavor's a subjective thing. Unlike the high quality and general loveliness of the Fidalgo City and Anacartes Electric Railway built in Washington. Alright, going in with another steep. Have I been timing these? No. Is that overfilled? Yes. It's also the last of my water. Oh my god. Wow. Alright. One last go. We're gonna overfill this a bit. Or maybe not. Ooh, that looks really dark. That looks nice. See, those are pretty close. I said I was going off of color and I barely looked at it while it was brewing. I mostly just kind of guessed and, let my mind wander. Still smells nice. This is one of those teas that I've noticed gets maybe around the 8th or 9th steep. Kind of like some Tie Guan Yins. It gets into fried rice territory. It starts smelling exactly like mall food court, American Chinese food fried rice. It tastes kind of like it too. Not as much as some Tie Guan Yins I've had. This one gets, I don't know, a shocking amount of the way there. It is kind of like you put a bunch of fried rice in a bag, dehydrated it, made a tea out of it. Which is a lot better than it sounds, and it's, I don't know, it's one of those things that makes me love tea. Because this goes from tasting like rocks and minerals, roasty flavors, to tasting like fried rice. How could that happen? How could such a thing occur? I don't know. But it's great. I get a hint of that. The tiniest bit of like, it starts out vegetal, I would say. Asparagus. Like, it's very subtle. But it's in there. It's just waiting to come out. It's Pride Month, baby. You can do it. Just get out there and, you know, rice it up. No, these don't look. They don't look too bad, right? And they look kind of nice. Look at this one. I like the twist on it. I mean, you know, spinach is a leaf, right? Basil, mint, kale, what my dad did. All leaves. So judging by some sort of Aristotelian mode of logic, this is not only edible, but possibly, probably delicious, right? Right? Oh. Oh. That tastes like the posterior analytics. And I do mean posterior, you know. Posterior. Like a butt. You know, it barely tastes like anything. It's really a textural thing. It is very fibrous. It tastes not at all fantastic. It's really, in fact, pretty unfantastic. There's gotta be a better word for that. On the bright side, eating these leaves counts both as a refutation of Aristotelian logical theories and good taste. So usually with these Wu Yi teas, at the end you come back and drink the rinse. But, you know, well, someone else has gotten to that already. Here, take a sip. Wow. It's a way to return to the start of what the tea was like, and it's cooled down, so it's not just returning, but it's slightly different. And you actually taste more. It's closer to body temperature at that point, which is when you do most of your tasting. You know, 100 degrees either side of body temperature, taste is not nearly as strong, cold or hot. That's what either side means. You know that. I mean, you don't know that, but you know that. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the video. We're done here. Please, go home. Please leave the video now. Please, go. Please. Please, just leave. I'm begging you. Leave. Go home.